Welcome to Geotechnical Solutions training video covering watermarking with GeoJot Plus. Here we're in the Watermark tab, and to give you some orientation, we have our attribute picker down the left here. We have our watermarking attributes up in the upper section here, and of course the photo that's going to be affected. And this will work for all of the photos that we have in our particular project. So down the left hand side in the attribute picker, we see all of the metadata we have to choose from in order to display. So our photo, GPS, memos, camera, etc. Up here in the center we have all the watermarking attributes. So what we selected down the left are going to be displayed up here, and we're able to organize to be displayed how we would like, either in the header and footer of the photo or on the photo itself, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So to begin, let's make sure that we select the attributes that we would like to see watermarked on our photo. So down here we've got check marks for the attributes that we'd like to see, and they show up here. And I've already prearranged a bunch of the attributes here for proper display. But let's go ahead and start from scratch on a couple of these. So let's add in the file name, and you'll see it's been added up in here, as well as the elevation of the photo, and you see it added here. Okay, so to organize these, let's say that the file name I want to be displayed in the upper right hand section, and the elevation I want to be displayed down in this vacant space down in the bottom middle here. So a couple of things to do here. One, I recommend showing the placeholders, and what that's going to do is show us the title of that attribute vice the actual value of the attribute. It just makes it easier when you're looking at our list up here to find and organize. So as I scroll up here, if I want to move file name over to the right here, okay, there's our file name, and sure enough right now it's showing it's in the top one and in the left. So if we start from top to bottom, row 1, row 2. Same thing in the bottom here, row 1, row 2, row 3. So we're looking at the top one, and it's currently positioned in the left. So if we simply come down here and select center, we'll move it over to the center. And if we select right, there it is at the right. Now if I go ahead and remove the placeholders again, we'll see that our file name is in fact in the upper right hand side. So let's do that with the 110 meter elevation here. So again, I recommend let's show placeholders, and let's find elevation. There it is. And we're going to move this to this vacant area here in the bottom center. So we're looking to go down to bottom row 2. We'll put it in the center. And in this case, 110 meters may not necessarily mean something to us in the future, so we may want to show the actual attribute title for this one. So let's say yes. And then we'll turn off our placeholders, and you'll see here we have elevation 110 meters. So that's how you organize the attribute data to be displayed. Now this is currently showing the attribute data being added to a header and a footer. We can also choose to watermark it on the photo by clicking this button here. And you'll see here now we've gotten rid of the header and footer and just put it on the photo. As you notice, this has some of its own problems. And in this case, in the dark sections of the photo, our attributes are hard to see. The sky is fine because the sky is kind of a blown out gray. So we can change our font here and our values. So here's our font and the size of it. We'll go ahead and leave that. Let's go ahead and let's select white. Let's see what that does for us. Okay, so the areas in the dark are definitely more bright, and the sky and the gray sky are harder to read. Well, maybe we can bold that to make that more, stand out more. And it definitely helps the bottom, but again the sky still isn't quite there. What we can do now is add either a halo or a shadow to see how that will affect it. And here in this case I've got the effect being in black. So the shadow definitely has helped the area in the sky. And if we go to a halo, it may or may not change your preference there, which one you want to use. In this case we'll leave it for now. You can also change the photo size and the zoom if you want to zoom in and see how these actually look on the photo themselves. So there's 100% and how they'll be displayed should we be when we actually print it out or display it. So go back to auto fit, and again if I go back to my header and footer display, I may want to change these again. So let's get these back to black, and let's go ahead and turn the effects off as well as the bold, and we're back to where we started. Now how you assemble your attributes when you save them as a project, you will then be able to use that as a template, so you don't have to recreate this process every time. So this should give you a good introduction into watermarking and the abilities contained within. Thanks for joining us. So let's wrap up with being able to watermark logos onto our photo. Here if we go to the Watermark Logo tab, we can browse to find a logo. Here we'll select our logo, and here it's saying it's displayed in the top left and it's 100% size. And for the sizing type we're using dynamic here. We could use actual, or we can use percent of photo. Now 100% here, if we go and select something that's a little more reasonable like 25%, brings me into a situation we've shown here. The transparency, right now I've got it at full opaque. This does not have a background to it in that particular logo, or we can go to full transparent, or just thereof. So now you can barely see the photo. So here we have the logo at its full opaque, and we can bring that back to make it a little bit more transparent. We can also delete that if we'd like to here. And that wraps up the watermarking. See you next time.